Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Agent K. If you didn't know, now you know. Okay, we're gonna try and not look at the monitor that shows me. I'm gonna just look here. This is so awkward though because the camera is so small to the point where I don't even know what I'm looking at. Anyways, before we get started, please do we like this little section, this little setup? I don't know. I don't really want to be doing sit down videos all the time, but today's video is needed. I feel like it's definitely needed. Today's going to be a life update. Where have I been? Because I haven't posted a video on this account since I was like 16 and I'm now 20. 4 years, guys. 4 years? Crazy. I don't know how this video is going to go because I'm a certified yapper. Especially in like a forum like this, like I'm just talking to my camera, I'm just talking to myself, I'm talking to myself in my own room. You're okay. Anyways, yeah. Anyways, let's just get straight into this video. Today's video is gonna be a life update, where I've been, what I've been up to in the last 4 years since I haven't posted. The aspiration I have for this channel is really just to be my digital diary. I just want to have an outlet where I can just talk to people. If people want to talk back to me, they can talk back to me. But I'm just talking to myself. I'm talking for myself. I'm using this as a journal. So yeah, today's video is going to be a life update because I feel like I have to just get a few things off my chest. And I'm nervous already. I don't know if you guys can tell. I don't know why, but I am. Anyways, so let's start this life update. Where do I even start, guys? The last time I recorded a video, I believe I was going into year 11 or in year 11. It was tough times for me. I feel like I was at the lowest point in my life, which lowest point in my life is so drastic to say, but I was really at rock bottom, or a version of rock bottom that I don't want to see again. I was lost, I was confused, I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I wanted to like post on my YouTube, but I was just so in my head about everything. So yeah, that's what I was doing. I was going into 11. COVID was rife, is that the word? COVID took a toll on me mentally, physically, emotionally, everything, because and so today's video is mainly going to be about my academic life, my career and whatnot. That's what we're going to delve into today, because I feel like that's the most prevalent thing. That's like, it's a main character in my life right now. That part of me is the main character, so we're going to talk about that. So I was going into 11 4 years ago, unsure, lost, just depressed. I feel like I could say I was depressed, even though depression is not of God, guys. But I was very much down. I had no want, urge or will for education. I was really just, you know, getting marked in, try not to get any more absences. That's where I was at that point in my life. And it was so sad because I was such an overachiever growing up. And I feel like secondary school as a whole, it definitely took a toll on me. I lost myself in secondary school, which is sad to say. Obviously, I've grown up and I've matured, and I can reflect and I can say I've learned who I am, but I also lost myself. I lost like the childness in me. Well, I lost my younger version of myself, which was the happy, the outgoing, the confident Adrian. But I became this like really, what's the word? Like, I don't even want to call myself that anymore, because I'm definitely far from that to an extent. But I was just so down. So I went into year 11, no real goals, no real dreams, no real aspirations for a career. I did not want to go to university at all. I dreaded the thought. I felt like I wasn't smart anymore. I hated learning. I hate exams. And because I was a part of that cohort that was doing exams during COVID, I didn't even sit real GCSE. So I was like, yeah, I am not going to university to struggle like this. Because you know when you hear like, oh, everyone's getting depressed, everyone's just by themselves in their comms. That wasn't my portion. I said no, I don't want to do that. So I'm just not going to do anything. So in year 11 is the times when you're like, you have to pick 6 forms and colleges, and I only picked 3, guys. I only picked 3. That's how done I was with school. And at the time, I was just like, I had one interest, which was anything to do with computer science, because I did that as a GCSE and I really liked it, but I didn't do so well. Like, that wasn't one of my stronger GCSEs that I got, but it was still something that I really enjoyed. So I was like, okay, Adrian, let's do this. And my mum instilled into me to always think from the end point and backwards. So whatever you want to do, think from the point that you want to be at and think back for all the steps of how you're going to get there. So I was like, okay, if I want to do something in computer science, what am I going to do? And I was looking around and I was like, well, I don't have to go to university. So university was off the table for me. I was like, okay, I'm not going uni. Okay, but even before uni, like college, what do I want to do? So I was like, okay, I want to do computer science A-level. But because my GCSE in computer science in particular, I didn't do well enough for the 2 6 forms that I applied to do computer science. But they was like, oh, you can do BTEC, ICT. And there's always been a stigma around BTECs, and it's like, why are we doing BTEC? So I was like, no, I don't want to do BTEC. But previously to that, in my secondary school, we was hearing about T-levels. And I was like, T-levels are sounding like a bit of me. It's not heavily focused on the paper exams, because that's the part where I struggle the most at, like retaining information and then going into an exam hall or going into just an exam and, you know, writing everything that I know from memory. That is not my strongest suit to this day. But obviously, I'm working on it. But yeah, I was like, okay, T-levels are a bit of me, but we can do some projects that showcase my skills, and I also get to do a placement. I was like, yeah, I want to do this. Bearing in mind, I didn't really, not that I didn't care, but I was like, whatever happens. I literally only applied to 3 6 forms, one being my secondary school 6 form. So really and truly, what was I doing? Nothing. When I'm discussing it with my parents, my dad is like, what's a T-level? Like, what is a T-level? Who does a T-level? Where do they go after they do this T-level? And I had no answers for him, because T-levels were new. T-level, there was literally only one cohort above me who was doing the T-level, and they were also within the like teacher assessed grades, the COVID era. So there's not even real data on them. Like, what can I really tell them about T-levels? I don't really know. I know as much as, you know, everyone else knows. So he was like, yeah, no, sorry, what are you doing with that? If you can't tell me what you're doing with it, then no. So I ended up picking 3 A-levels at a completely different 6th form to my secondary school 6th form. And if you know me, then you know that it was literally up the road from my secondary school. That's how lazy I was. I didn't even think, like, let me branch out and find good 6. Not that I wasn't a good 6th form, but let me not actually branch out and look for good 6th forms and whatnot. No, I just said, well, there's one right there. Whatever they let me do, I'll do. So I went there, and that's exactly what I did. And I ended up doing maths, psychology, and economics. Why did I do that? Because I was trying to please my dad. And I was also trying to show myself that, Adrian, you're smart. You can do these things. Like, what? Them big 3, that big 3. Like, who you know? Who you know? Nobody. And I didn't know myself. Do you know what I mean? I went there, and like, there was a plethora of things that was swaying me away from it. One, I wasn't really excelling, and I only was there for 4 months, bearing in mind, but I wasn't really excelling. And I'm like, if it's not clicking, if there's not a spark like this, then I need to dip. Like, this is not for me. I don't like it. The environment, it was a new environment. I was getting distracted. I know myself. I can get distracted quite quickly. So I was like, yeah, I can't do this, and I don't want to do this. So why am I stressing myself to be here to please my dad, or to show people who are not even looking at me? Like, nobody said, Adrian, you need to do X, Y, and Z, but my dad. But who am I proving a point to? So I said, Mom, I don't want to do this. I don't like it. This is not what I wanted to do. I'm already struggling as it is, so why am I struggling and doing something I don't want to do? So I was like, Mum, I want to go back and I want to do T-levels. I want to go back to my secondary school, sixth form, and I want to do T-levels. And she was all for it. She was like, Adrian, you should have did that in the beginning. Like, you know your mum. Yeah, that was my mum. She was supportive of every move that I've taken in all my life. But yeah, so she was like, do what you got to do. So I went back to my secondary school and I was like, guys, please take me back. I don't want to be there. I don't want to do this. It's hard. It's stressful. And here's me having the mindset of, oh, the T-level is new. It's easier. Like, the A-levels I was doing was so hard. I don't want to do this. Let me just do T-levels. Thinking that it was easier, but also thinking, well, I'm going to like it more. So, you know, I went there. Well, before I even got there, over the winter break, which is my birthday, bear in mind, I had to prove to them that, like, I really want to do this. So they gave me learning packs of what the students learned the last 4 months. The last 4 months, and I had to, like, you know, show that, okay, I know what we're doing. Like, yeah, I can do this. I can do this. Cool. I did it under pressure during my birthday. Like, I was like, oh, but I really wanted to do it, so I did it. And then when I got there, I was like, what is this? What is this? There's no resources to learn from. Like, no one really knows what they're doing. What is going on? What did I sign myself up for? But it wasn't as bad because I liked what I was learning. Even though it was hard because there was nothing to learn from. You know, I'm not trying to downplay my sixth form, but that's how I felt. I felt like, what, like, guys, where's the resources? Where's this? Where's that? And bearing in mind, we only had, please, in the comments, you guys can do word counts for words that I say all the time. I need to start reading more books. That's a 2025 resolution for me, to start reading more books to expand my vocabulary. But anyways, neither here nor there. So I'm there and I'm like, is this what you guys were doing? Is this what we're working with? Like, help me. But because I had more of a passion, more of a drive, I was able to do it better, and I was very enthusiastic about the course itself, especially about the placement that the T-levels offer. And I was like, okay, like, if I'm struggling here, kind of, is there any other areas that I can excel in? Because I knew that the exam and the theory, that would be my weakest point, but anything where I'm, like, the projects that we do, I can sell myself with this because I can do this. This is my area where I thrive. And then also the placement, you know, put your best foot forward, go to your placement, learn from them, take in valuable experiences and continue to thrive. So I'm like, okay, guys, like, to my teachers, to my career advisor, where's the placement? Like, how do I get a placement? And they put me on a placement at a charity shop, but it was kind of the back end. So I was taking pictures of their inventory. I was doing behind the scenes of photo shoots. I loved it. It was up the road from my school. It was a 1 day out of the week where I'd go and I'd just have a chill day in a sense, but still learning from these people. And then after some time, now bearing in mind, so I'm trying to give it like a story time a little bit. But so over this period, I'm struggling with the T-level. I'm like, I thought this would be easier. It is not easier. It's actually harder because with the A-level, there's materials, there's past papers, there's resources. I was fine. Like, if I needed more help, there was something out there for me to get the help. Whereas with the T-level, only what my teachers know, only what they're teaching in the class. There's nowhere else. Like, you know how you can have, we used Seneca, Maths Watch, like stuff like that for learning and revision. There was none of that for the T-level, which I hope they have stuff now. I do think that they have a few. They definitely have loads of past papers that people can revise from, but I actually haven't looked into whether or not they have. No, I did actually. When I left, they was making a book that they were selling on Amazon. So yeah, hopefully they have more resources. But at the time, there was nothing, and I was struggling, and I was like, oh, like, you know when you just get disencouraged again? That's where I was, and I was like, no, Adrian, come on now. Try. So we did the exams, because how it is assessed and spread out is you do 2 paper exams in the first year plus a employer set project, which is like coding, debugging, pseudocode, algorithm, stuff like that. And then in the second year you do an OSP, which is an occupational specialism project, if my terminology is correct, where you do a project over that like year, basically. Not that year, over quite a few weeks. I forgot the correct times. And my one was to create a fitness website, something to do with that. So yeah, the beginning, the first year, I was struggling. I was like, yeah, no, this is not for me. Like, okay, where can I go to next? That's how I was thinking. But I ended up getting a D on my exam. And I've always thought, I don't know if it's just me, but A-levels, because I'm missing out bits of the story, guys, but please just bear with me, because I'm just kind of just talking to myself. If you know, you know. If you don't, feel free to ask questions. I will answer them. Anyways, so I always thought with A-levels, if you're not getting an A or A star, what are you doing? How are you getting B, C, D, E, F, G's in A-levels? Like, I don't know why. I don't know if that's stupid to think, but I was like, A-levels, you need to get an A. Cool. And the paper exams were assessed with A-level grading. And I got a D. And I was like, that is not even a C, let alone a B, Adrian. What are you doing? And then I resit the paper. And I got a D again. And I said, yeah. Like, we already knew that I was struggling with my learning and retaining information. We already knew that because of COVID, because of when I lost the confidence in myself and had low self-esteem. I was just not, you know, putting in my all. Because I always used to think I'm naturally smart, but naturally smart can only get you somewhere. Like, it's given average, babe, and you don't want to be average. Because I used to be a high achiever, like an overachiever. And I just lost that spark in me. So I'm just there like, yeah, this is crazy. Next year, I got to go hard in that OSP. Otherwise, I checked the whole thing. Then what was this for? Nothing. Now your dad's going to be looking at you like, you should. That's what I was thinking. Now your dad's going to be looking at you like you should have just did the A-levels. And what? Failed in that too? Anyways, so I was like, yeah, cool. Checked. So there was an opportunity to do a placement with my current employer now, and I was like, okay, yeah, me. I put my hand up first. Me and my friend, we both did it. We spent our year 12 summer doing the placement there. We had no summer, and I was like, this is a sacrifice, Adrian. You're gonna go there. You're gonna put your best foot forward. You're gonna smile at these people. You're gonna learn everything you can from them. And I always have like this speech to myself, and then I go and I perform below average or average. And I'm just a bit harsh on myself, sorry to sound dramatic. I'm dramatic and I'm harsh on myself. But I was just like, oh, again, Adrian, you're just going in here, you're not doing the right things, you're not doing all this. Bearing in mind, little did I know, I was doing the right things. Obviously, I was being hard on myself, so I didn't think I was doing enough. But I was doing the right things. I was showing up. I was showing the passion, the drive, the willingness to learn, especially in that type of environment. I think I thrive in places like that because it was easier. I don't know how to explain it, but it was just a good environment. I got to shadow loads of different professionals, from cybersecurity analysts, product owners, UX designers, scrum masters, software engineers. I got to shadow all of them, and I just loved it. I was like, yeah, I could do this. And the culture at the company was just so lovely. I didn't feel no way. And I think that's kind of because there was no pressure on me. I was like, oh, there's just 2 girls here coming to shadow us and just see what we do and try to see if they could do this, if we give them a task, X, Y, and Z. Cool. So I was doing good. One day I even made a little TikTok about it. And again, because T-levels was very new and was unknown, that got a lot of attention, especially from like the Department of Education, T-level providers, my school and whatnot. And I was reached out to do like campaigns for T-levels, kind of talking about T-levels, the pros and cons, how I think it's going, and my experience with it. So I was like, yeah, I like this, you know. And I became more confident because I felt like people were seeing the good in me in terms of what I can bring to the table and my work drive and my work ethic and whatnot. I was like, okay, cool. And then I was doing all of these positive things, being invited to all these different places. I loved it. And then it came to the second year, year 13, where we had the OSP. And the OSP, I was like, yeah, this is me. What? All I need to do is program a website. Yeah, HTML, CSS. Yeah. I was like, yeah, this is easy. This is me. Oh, my website looks so nice. Oh, it works well. Like, it's functioning. everything. I loved it. That was, and I feel like that was me, like, yes, I love software engineering. Yes, this is what I want to do. And then my grandma passed away, guys, and it took a toll on me again. And her funeral was even dead in between my exam, my OSP exam, and I went to Nigeria for it, and I came back, and I was like, I lost confidence in myself again. I was like, what is this? Like, what am I doing this for? What am I actually doing it for? I was so like, what? I kind of lost. Not, oh, I don't want to cry. I'm not trying to cry. Yeah, I was just like, I was annoyed. I was annoyed, and I was like, sorry guys. I'm trying to, anyways, yeah, I was just like, what is this, man? And I gotta do this, and oh, what is this for? And then I started to just feel like pressure, like, to do so well. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And then again, this is the time where you have to start applying for universities. And you have to start applying for universities. And I was like, I don't want to go to university. I don't know what I'm applying to. I want to do an apprenticeship, but apprenticeships are so, I don't know, but they're just so competitive. They're so competitive, and so I was like, I'm not even gonna get it. And I'm going through this thing. My head is not even in the right space. Yeah, sorry. And I was like, oh, I'm grieving. My head is not even in the right space. And so I was just like, ugh. So I applied to some universities, not even knowing if they were taking on T-level students, But I applied to them, and I was so fortunate enough to get a fast track onto the application process of an apprenticeship with my current employer, the employer who also took me on as a T-level industrial placement student. And I was like, okay, this is my chance, especially because the other apprenticeships that I was applying to, I wasn't getting far in the process, the application process, and I was just like, when stuff just happens so fast and I feel like I'm not excelling, I'm like, yeah, it's over, it's done. But I was fortunate enough to get the apprenticeship. I went through the assessment centre and they loved me, and I got the apprenticeship. So I was like, all of this was worth it. I also ended up getting a merit in my T-level, which I was like, I kind of felt like I was going to do good in my OSP, even though I, like, through it a little bit, I was going through it. But I was like, it's either you're going to just give up now and you're going to not care about anything because your grandma passed away, or you're going to, do good and make sure that you come out of this situation better. So that's what I did, and I pushed for a good grade, and I ended up being able to get a merit. And I got my apprenticeship, so I was like, okay, cool, you're good. And still getting like all these opportunities to become a T-level ambassador, and I was like, yeah. So when I came out of sixth form, that summer until my apprenticeship started, I was doing a few, I don't know what I was doing actually. I was working like crazy. But I was just kind of chilling because I felt I could just relax now. I went on a few holidays actually. Yeah. I went on a couple of holidays because I was a big girl. First holidays were with my mom. Back-to-back holidays, that's what I was doing. And then my apprenticeship was soon approaching. And then I was like, okay, being a T-level ambassador, what can I do to kind of, influence people to do T-levels and whatnot? I started a little TikTok page, and I was making TikToks about my journey and what I did. And then I was doing videos on like pros and cons of a T-level, why I chose a T-level and whatnot. If you want to check it out, you can definitely check out my TikTok page. I'll put it in the description box. And I was going into this apprenticeship stronger than ever, more confident, because I was like, you did it. You surpassed your GCSEs, even though you felt very stagnant and lost. You then surpassed your T-level with the grief that you was going through, and also just feeling inadequate. You got this, girl. And again, I always give myself these pep talks. I'm like, yes. And then I go there, and I just don't know myself again. Imposter syndrome, guys. Imposter syndrome is real. I felt like, what am I doing here? So one thing to note, my cohort, well, my company, how they do apprenticeships, especially level 4s, it is people who are upskilling, people who want to have a career change, people, school leavers, anyone can do it. So I was on a cohort with people who already got their degrees in a whole nother course, or who already have had careers, and like I was just like, yeah, I felt like the weakest link out of the bunch. And I'm very shy, especially when I first meet people, when I'm first around people. I'm very shy. I can't find my voice sometimes, and I'm just like, what is wrong with you? You've done how many speeches and conferences? You've been able to advocate for yourself at times. Like, why are you struggling now? And just a piece of advice, or just like, if anyone wants to know, if anyone wants to know, it's okay to not be as confident, but it's about what do you do to help you get confident. So I was struggling again in the beginning of my apprenticeship, like, what am I doing here? And at times I was like, oh, I don't have no work, like, what am I doing here? Am I not good enough? I felt like, no. And then I also was battling with, like, I was telling myself I don't deserve this because, you know, because I did the T-level, and because I made a TikTok video, even though that wasn't really the reason, but because I made a TikTok video, yeah, that's why you're here. That's why I used to tell myself, just being so negative about it, to the point where I really just went to work, to my apprenticeship, and was so quiet. I didn't ask for help, I didn't ask for advice, but it got to a point where it's like, Adrian, no, you can't do this. And I don't know, I kind of have to tell myself, like, I was awarded T-level Student of the Year. I went to House of Parliament. I did multiple conferences. I did multiple speeches at sixth forms to T-level providers. Like, I've been able to get a merit on my T-level. You did so well. Why do you feel like this? And it is so much more than just, oh, not performing well. But it was definitely more of a personal thing. But I do know that other people have had, not similar, because again, like, mine's is definitely a lot built up, but people go into apprenticeships and are lost as well. And I just want to say, like, you need to, one, have a voice, advocate for yourself. If you feel like no one's helping you, you ask for help, because 9 times out of 10, that's what people are looking for. They're looking for the person who's asking to do this piece of work, who's asking, can I shadow this team member? Can I learn from you? You're not always gonna just be given something. And I feel like maybe I was used to just being given something, or maybe I was just used to, in secondary school, sixth form, stuff being accessible to a certain extent. Whereas when you're working in a big company, when you're working in the corporate world, you have to, like, step out of your comfort zone. So I'm currently coming to the end of my apprenticeship. I don't know if I said it, but I did a level 4, what I'm doing, a level 4 software engineering apprenticeship. And only now am I realizing that, one, I've learnt so much on this apprenticeship, and I've also learnt so much from my secondary school to my T-level to now, where it's like, you haven't wasted your time. Yes, I might be a slow burner, but you've got all the time in the world, okay? Not that I should waste my time or just not act on what I need to act on, but I shouldn't keep beating myself up for silly things. Just ask for help, ask questions, and you'll be fine, honestly. So this video kind of took a turn because I am a waffler. That's been my life so far. I've definitely grown as a person on my apprenticeship. There's so much more that I want to improve on, and I also want to be somewhere that people can come to me and ask me for help. People do and have been in the past asking me for help, mainly on my TikTok account. Again, follow it. On my LinkedIn as well, follow it and talk to me if you want to talk to me about anything. But also, I want to use my YouTube channel as kind of an outlet, definitely my digital diary for all of my life, not just my career and my education, but also outside of that. I've been on my walk with Christ, which is I'm struggling there too. I've been traveling a lot. I'm trying to like step out of my comfort zone, and yeah, and whatever else I end up doing, I'm gonna share it with my channel. Guys, I don't know if this video was good. It was kind of just a waffle, a rant, and a reflection of my life since the last video I posted, or just the last 4 years of my life. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you want me to talk about anything I've spoken about in this video in more depth, I'll happily do that in another video. I don't know if like I'm gonna be a sit-down YouTuber. I definitely want to do vlogs, especially when I travel or when I do stuff with my family. You guys will get to meet my family. I don't think I'd ever do vlogs at work. Maybe if it's an event or something. But yeah, even in terms of work as well, guys, I'm finishing my apprenticeship soon, and I've learnt so much. I have so many do's and don'ts and what I'm gonna do in the future, and I'm ready to kind of just apply it and be serious about my life. Because again, listen, we can get into more in another video, but just know this year is my year, and I hope it's your year as well. And I hope if anyone's ever experienced what I've experienced or anything, because this could apply to university or working or just anything, just comment down below and we can talk it up, because I know that I've been waffling and I didn't want this video to be too long. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully I get to be more creative and walking around, and also please don't mind my room.